Hi, my name is Igor Stepanovic. We are talking about marketing. The book I hold in my hands, it's Principles of Marketing, Philip Kotler's fourth edition, Principles of Marketing. Lovely book, playful, colorful, inspiring, very educational in number of ways. And I recommend this book to all marketers. This is encyclopedia, this is dictionary, this is guidebook, all library. Very valuable book for marketers. I think it's a subject of my separate speech because it requires too much time for preparation, and I think that it's a subject of separate lecture because too much material. But I recommend this book to all marketers, and I think we're gonna talk more about it. Today I would like to talk about something else. I would like to talk about search engine optimization copywriting, SEO copywriting. What is SEO copywriting? Why do we need SEO copywriting? And how to be the best copywriter. It's an art. It's a refined art. I decided today dedicate the whole day from early morning. I was exploring different articles and I found a lot of valuable articles about SEO copywriting. I collected them and I think it's very valuable material. This is indeed a refined art, and I can tell you one example. Once when I was running a hotel, I wrote a promo article, and I had many guests from all over the world, and I asked one Englishman to correct the errors in this article. He found a lot of errors almost in every sentence, and I was surprised. After that, one more guest offered to. He looked at my promo article and he said, "You written wrong, something written wrong," and after double check, he found more errors in that article, and I was surprised how difficult and how refined art is the copywriting, especially if English is not your first language. It's very difficult to be a copywriter, and this is indeed refined art, and copywriting is important. Today on the internet, copywriting is very important. Content is the king, content is everything, and this is really important for the internet marketers. But how to be the best copywriter? How to be the copywriter that can have the good copies and that there would be good indexation on Google and would be valuable for the customers. I decided to ask myself, what is the secret of this art? Why, for example, I like some writers like no one else. Some books I can read many times and I never get tired. Who are my favorite writers? I like Clive Lewis, Victor Hugo. Many times I can read this. Yeah? Shakespeare is Solomon of New Era. Yeah, it's a Solomonic wisdom. I read Winter's Tale, Antonio Cleopatra. I can read many times. Macbeth I read 20 times. You never get tired from Macbeth. You get intellectual pleasure when you read something like this, intellectual delight. So some things we read for us it's like a experience of something pleasant. And there are writers, our favorite writers. We wait to read their books. For example, Recently I read Edgar Lawrence Doctoral in university bookstore. I found this book, and very valuable book. I want to find another books of this writer. So some writers, they inspire us with their unique, original, inspiring, and lovely writings. Of course, when we talk about Shakespeare, Shakespeare is not a writer. But actually, Shakespeare, if he would live today, I think he would be the king of copywriters, because there's no analogy to Shakespeare. But so some think what we read is not just inspiring, but it's genius, it's unique, it's original. And what is interesting that in the world of commercial SEO copywriting, there are also some favorite commercial writers, copywriters, and on internet you can see their websites. They are like the famous ones, K-Tune, also Joanna Penn, Susan's website. These are famous copywriters who really famous, and there is they have also their own style. And actually, what is interesting that some of them say that there is no like magic formula. They just write, not for the sake of SEO, just thinking about customers, thinking about what they have to write, and it works. It works perfect. And what is interesting, the authors, I remember the interview of one French writer. He said in one of his statements, he said that I never advertise. If book is bad, there is no sense to advertise it. This is interesting attitude of writers and copywriters. So they dedicate to their favorite work, occupation, and they don't think about something like search engines. Yeah, they think about dedication to their what they love to do. And indeed, copywriting, if we talk about internet copywriting, is really important. In today's modern world, is really important. Okay, is copywriter more important than media consultant? Yes, much more important. Because if your copy is dull and lifeless, then your social media efforts will be just a big old waste of time. Is copywriting more important than search engine optimization specialist? Yes, more important, because copywriter is actually the one who makes your search engine optimization. Okay, if copywriter, PPC experts, like pay-per-click experts, are they more important than copywriters? No, because if your design, it's matter not design and not the social media, and not even the product that makes the sales, but what they convince is the copy writing convince and actually makes the sales. So yes, copywriter is much more important. Okay, what about the graphic designers? Our graphic designers, I think it goes both. Yeah, it goes together. So you can't say one more important than the other, but this is actually what I also want to advise, especially if you run a small business. Try to make your websites as simple as possible. The flashing websites, they irritate the readers. So it's no necessity to make very expensive website. The simpler the better. And try to be like, well, in one way or another, you will need a programmer, yes, but try to do your best to be less dependent from the programmer. And expensive websites are not necessary. I noticed that even the big business, there's this tendency to simplicity, but everyone pays attention to copywriting. Copywriting is important. Even multi-billion dollars business realizes that content is a king, content is important, and of course the big brands, they have the advantage. They have resources, of course, to create great content, and actually they, like in single ad, they have large followings, but they have excellent copywriters, and they pay attention to this. If you remember, like from the 1990s, the optimizers, they even wrote the complete works of encyclopedias on internet for better optimizations. But the time changed. Today, different time, internet was great leveler for many years, but it's maturing. So either you build a brand and quality, or you can say goodbye to your successful projects on internet. So it's like 20, 30 years ahead. If we look, there might be search engines won't exist in the way we see them today, but importance of copywriting will be always. And I think it's also the future. Content is important. In the battle between quality and quantity, quality always wins. So if you choose between writing the article like every day or writing just one truly amazing article per month, the second one is better. The second one is much more better now. And algorithms of search engines are getting very intelligent. What was acceptable yesterday is not acceptable today. What is acceptable today might be not acceptable tomorrow, obviously, but content is important. And okay, what are the secrets of copywriting? What are the secrets of success? All great stuff have one thing in common. They all offer a unique value that you won't see elsewhere. And the secret is to answer more questions completely. If you think about Google sends visitors to your page because people are searching for something in that search box, yes? Supposedly your page contains the answer. The more questions you can answer with your content, the better user experience will be. And Google will likely connect with you. So if we ask ourselves, what questions will people have about this thing? The more questions you answer, the higher rankings. It's very interesting truth. I tried to do it I have websites, like kind of laboratories websites. I make experiments in search engines. And I decided to write 12 articles, to post the 12 articles in one and look at how it works. And it didn't work out, maybe because the search box is hotels. Yeah, if it would be some other, or maybe search engine optimization experts could correct me why it didn't work out, but it didn't work out. But what experts are telling us that the more questions you can answer, the higher rankings. So focus creating awesome content and become that authority that people naturally link to. Write the copy that makes people want to read more. Create a hook that gets customers to want more. Make your advertising too valuable to throw away. Very important thoughts, very important advices. If you can turn yourself into a consumer, one famous marketer said this: if you can't turn yourself into a consumer, you probably shouldn't be in advertising business at all. What is the consumer? What is the nature of consumer? What is the behavior of consumer? The consumer is the people, they don't care actually what you want to sell, they care what they want to buy. Sometimes they buy irrationally, spontaneously, but they actually consumer, they don't buy products, they buy benefits of products. People are not interested in you, they are interested in themselves. They don't have a time to desire to read like hundreds of pages. They only choose a few information that matters them. So once viewers have a good first impression and emotionally connected to your landing page, the next step is to decide if your offer is worth reading. The research shows that the first thing they are looking for is a prominent headline with relevant keywords. However, most visitors don't read top to bottom. They skim the headlines and only actually read the sections they care. Some experts, they argue that the headline must sell your product. Unless your headline sells your product, you have wasted 90% of your money. Always start with working title. Nothing works as well on the web as headlines. Some even advise to write lots of headlines. So introduction should be quickly tell people what your content is about, explain its value. In some ways, the first 2 lines on your content are the most important. So catch the attention of your audience and compel them to keep reading. Very important advice. When people go to a web page, the thing they want to more than anything else is instant clarity. Ask yourself, who are they? What they want? What problems they face? The content should be adapted to the user's needs. There is also interesting statistics. I collected these statistics and very valuable. According to statistics, younger users are more susceptible to influence than the older ones. Middle-aged women are the biggest sharers online. Men are more influential than women. Women influence men more than they influence other women. Married people are the less susceptible to influence in the decision to adopt the product. Also, if resource is with positive comments and reviews, the research shows that 63% of consumers are more likely to purchase from a site that has a product ratings and reviews. In the United States, for example, the majority of Americans, like 84% of Americans, say that the consumer reviews influence their purchase decisions. One half of the 84% say that they rely on those reviews during the first stage of buying cycle. Very interesting. Therefore, there is necessity to live the lives of your audience, to think about what influences them, what drives their passions, what makes them want to share, and how to focus on your audience to cause an immediate, visceral, emotional impact. There must be also strong call to action. An excellent offer does the following. It addresses your customer and identifies their needs, states what your product does and how it meets those needs, demonstrates what makes you unique from your competitors. So use the element of surprise. Present something unexpected. Add scarcity. Add sense of urgency to your copy, like special discounts or something like this. And the most powerful element in advertising is the truth. Yeah, if you make claims, you must prove your claims are true. As we know from the principles of marketing, promise what you can deliver and deliver more than you can promise. This is one of the principles of marketing. So there must be uniqueness, like rareness of information, idea, concept, evidence of proof, credibility, indicators, testimonies, photos that demonstrate your product in action. There might be also statistics like any achievements to talk about, any qualifications you have, anything that add proof to your claims. So what proof do you have that you can actually solve the problem? A lot of problems, a lot of promises without proof is just a hype. So can you come up with an offer that client can't refuse? Can you make like bullshit promise and use magic mechanisms to add irresistible hook to your offer? Think about your target audience and about ways that you can connect with them on emotional level. So we are dealing with people of emotions, not logic. So also keep your blogs updated, fresh, edit and rewrite pages. That's how you get better. Longer posts read shorter if you break them with photos. Also very important, yes? There is actually no such a thing as too long but too boring article. Ensure that your images reinforce your message. Make it simple, make it memorable, make it inviting to look at, make it fun to read. Be sure your copy, you say like never been said before, yeah? Content must be based on exclusive research, emotional stories, useful information, well-researched, original, amusing, engaging, unique angles, must be solutions to problems as well. As quality content entails the original data, yeah, align it with trending news topics, illustrate it with beautiful figures and charts, and provides actionable key takeaways. To hook your readers, you must apply creative principles to create captivity stories. And it's obviously not easy to write well-structured articles that inform, educate, entertain, but there is necessity for this. There is necessity to be poetical, yeah? In your prose, be poetical. Write prose, but poetically. Indeed, it's not easy, but there is necessity for this in copywriting. And the grammar is very important. Bad grammar are bad for branding. There is old proverb: if your first line is crooked, then all writing is crooked and worthless. So there is necessity for grammar. And it's indeed, if English is not your first language, it's really difficult to be a copywriter, and you may hire to professional copywriters. And this is new, this is getting fashionable. I think in like post-communist countries, there's librarian society, the people, very beautiful people, very educated, low paid. They can do this service for businesses. They can invest their intellectual capital for some internet projects as copywriters, some of them. So librarian society is, I think, they are the people who could try themselves in copywriting. I know that business owners, they search for copywriters, like PR agencies, marketing agencies, they search for copywriters. But professional copywriters, they spend a lot of time in libraries. They are excellent. They have copies to show you, yes, with many happy customers. And but if you run small business, you cannot hire the copywriters. You can try to write yourself. And use Wikipedia, for example. Wikipedia is an excellent source to see the structure of the article. And yes, find the location of library. Libraries are full of ideas. So you can try to do it yourself. And only through consistency and frequency you actually will become a writer yourself. But as I say, it's very difficult. Especially if English is not your first language. You can write in your language, of course, but yes, do it if you can handle it. If you cannot handle it, you can bring more damage, more harm to your content than good. So think twice before you start to do it. Also, if you have a good copy, very good advice. If you have a good copy, spend more time to promoting your content than you ever did creating it. Kate Toon, famous copywriter, in one of her statements, she says that the biggest reason most sites are failing miserably to ranking is because of accidental block or poor code, missing files, or something silly like using frames. But content is important. Content is the king. Content is the future. So pay attention to copywriters and pay attention to your content on your websites. As I said, I am not a copywriter. I tried to write in Ukrainian, in Russian. Sometimes it didn't work out. I tried to write in English. It didn't work out. But what it has to do with copywriting, with principles of copywriting, and some precious, valuable information, I try to explain to you. And I wish you all the best, and thanks for listening.